We're going to begin down in child pose. If you have knee issues, feel free to pad up your mat and pad up the back of your knees. And you want to just come as far back as possible on your heels. So if that bothers your knees, you can keep your hips high. If not, we're going to just come all the way back and reach our arms forward and turn our palms up. And then gently take our forehead to the mat. And we're just going to breathe into our back here. So as you breathe in, I want you to feel your ribs expand. As you breathe out, I want you to feel your ribs sliding in and down. We're going to be here for just a couple breaths. This is going to help calm our body and get our mind set for our practice. You can start to come into your Ujjayi breath, a little constriction in the back of the throat. We're going to take one more breath and we're going to shift forward to all fours. We're going to spread our fingers wide, press down to the tops of our feet. Press the earth away from you and lengthen your spine. Hollow out your abdominals, find length. And on an inhale, we're going to draw our chin, chest forward, and tailbone up, a little drop of the belly, but keep your abs engaged. And then exhale, round. So a couple cow cats to take some heat into our back. We're going at our own pace. Full flexion and extension of the spine. We'll do one more and we'll come back to neutral spine. And then we'll just wag the dog. We'll go over one shoulder, allow the hip to draw closer, and then the other. Getting a little bit of lateral flexion in your spine. We'll come back to neutral spine. And you're going to take your left arm out to the side, palm facing down. Keeping your hips squared, you're going to inhale to an open rotation. Exhale, reach underneath. So get a little rotation of your spine. So we want to make sure our back is nice and warm. We work forward flexion and extension. We work lateral flexion, and we work rotation. Let's do one more. And we'll come back to all fours. Same thing, other side. Reach your arm out to the side. Inhale on the open. Exhale, reach through. Staying with the pace of your breath. We'll do one more. We'll come back to all fours. And now we'll do a little bit of spinal stabilization. You're going to take your left arm out, palm facing in. Slide your right leg back. Inhale, think of lifting with that inner thigh. We're just holding bird dog. Make sure your breath is steady and calm. Pull the belly in. Release, same thing, other side. Start with the arm, palm faces in. Draw that shoulder back. Slide your left leg back. Inhale, lift with that inner thigh. Keeping the hips squared, keeping the abs engaged. Just stabilizing. Good, one more breath and we'll release. We can sit back on those heels again. You can bring your forearms to the mat and let's just roll our wrists. We're on our hands for a little bit. Let's take some care of our wrists and we'll switch directions. Let's reach our arms out in front, spreading our fingers. Taking our knees as wide as our hips, spreading our feet as wide as our hips. We're going to curl our toes. If you do not want to work with your head below your heart, you can just come back into all fours. Other than that, we're going to come up into our down dog with soft knees. Keep your knees bent. Look between your arms. You're going to be looking at your thighs. Let those shoulders roll down to your hips. And then we're just going to pedal out the legs. Dropping one heel and then the other. Let's hold both heels down. Don't worry if your legs don't straighten. That's not the point here. Just allow that chest to reach to your thighs. We're going to look between our hands and then gently walk it in. Forward fold. Let's come up halfway to hinge. Nice flat back. Hips are reaching to the back of the room. Just giving yourself a moment so we don't come up too quick. Press down to come all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge forward. Bend the knees as much as you need to get your hands to the floor. Walk your right leg back, low lunge. Think of drawing your back heel to the back wall. Front knee directly over your ankle. Step that back foot in. Release to forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Make sure your knees are soft as you press down, come all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Bend the knees as much as you need to get your hands to the floor. Step your left leg back. Press back. Press that heel back. Back leg is straight and strong. Press down through that front heel, making sure the knee is directly over the ankle. Low lunge. Step that back foot in. Release, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Release, reverse swan dive up. Exhale, hands to heart. Again, inhale. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Step your right foot back. This time, if available, soften that back knee to the floor. Feel free to pat up that knee. Reach your fingertips forward and lift the torso. If this bothers your shoulders, you can always take your arms out to cactus. Energy between palms, energy between biceps. Think that the hips are trying to turn up. You should feel engagement in your glute. Think of drawing the hip of the front leg back. Draw the hip of the back leg forward. Feel energy through that front heel as you hinge. Release hands to the floor. Step that back foot in, release, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Release, reverse swan dive up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Step the other leg back. Soften the knee to the floor if available. Pull that belly in. Reach your fingertips forward and lift the torso. This time, you're going to cactus the arms. Turn the palms forward. Open up the elbows nice and wide. Lift the heart to the sky. Keep the ribs of the hips pulling up. Return arms. Hinge forward, hands back to the floor. Step your back foot in, release, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Release, reverse swan dive up. And hands to heart. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. We're going to step our right foot back, then our left. If you need to, take your knees to the floor. We're in modified plank position. Little corkscrew of the arms. Tuck that tailbone, pull the belly up. Deep breath in. As you exhale, slowly take yourself all the way down onto the mat. Keep the tops of your feet pressing into the earth. We're going to inhale to a little cobra. Keep your elbows to the back of the room. Keep the back of your neck nice and long. And exhale, come down. Let's do a few of these at your own pace. The inhale is the extension to your spine. The exhale is the lowering. We're going to do one more. And then we're going to press down, gripping your hands to the mat and push yourself back up to modified plank. Curl your toes. And we're going to press back into down dog, or again, feel free just to come back to all fours. Legs maybe a little bit straighter, we got a little heat going on. Think of your chest, reach into your thighs, roll your shoulders out of your ears. Let's inhale, right leg up. Look between your hands. As you exhale, you're gonna pull that leg through and step it right between your hands. If it doesn't make it, feel free to place it there. Back into that runner's lunge, that low lunge. Reach your fingertips forward, get your balance, and lift into crescent pose. Little balance challenge here. You can always keep your back knee on the floor. Hinge forward. Slide that right leg back. You're back into plank. Option to come to your knees. Slowly take yourself down all the way to the mat. Inhale to cobra or take it to up dog. Hips and knees are off the floor. Release. Curl your toes. Push back into modified plank and into down dog or all fours. We're here for a couple breaths, a little recovery. Inhale, left leg comes up. Look between your hands. Pivot. Place that left foot right in between your hands. If it doesn't make it, just lift it and put it into place. Option to take the back knee to the floor. Reach your fingertips forward and lift. Crescent pose. Feel energy in between the biceps, in between the hands. Remember, you can always take it to cactus. You can always be on your knees. Hinge forward, hands back to the floor. Slide your left leg back. Plank or modified plank. Slowly take yourself down onto the mat. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Release. Push yourself back into your all fours or all the way back into your down dog. We're here for a couple breaths. Remember, feel free to take a break, take water, take full child pose, whatever feels good to you. On an inhale, you're going to lift that right leg. Keep those hips nice and square. Look between your hands and let's pivot that leg again. Again, just put it into place. If it doesn't make it, lift it and put it there. Back knee can be down or up. Reach those fingertips forward. Lift the torso. Crescent pose. And we're going to take our back heel and drop it for warrior one. Cactus your arms, open up that heart again. Inhale, return. Now open up, warrior two. Warrior two, your arch to heel. Make sure your front knee is directly over your second and third toe. Pull out through that back hip. Feel energy on the outside of that foot. Look over your front fingers. We're going to take our left hand to our waist or hip, turn your right arm up and come into your reverse warrior. Breathe into the side of your body. Let's return to our warrior two. Straighten your front leg. I want you to reach forward, as far forward as you can. Let the hand come down anywhere on your leg, just not the kneecap or maybe to the floor. Let those left fingertips reach to the sky. Think of drawing your hips forward as you're taking your shoulder blades against a wall. Try to stack your body. The chest should be open towards the wall or even slightly up. If you're facing the floor, just take your hand up higher. We're going to rebend that front knee, return to our warrior two. We're going to windmill that back arm. Come back into that runner's pose. Slide your right leg back. Option to take your knees to the floor. This time you can lower down all the way to the floor or maybe try chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Release, and you're going to press yourself back into your all fours or your child pose. We're here for a couple breaths. If you need a sip of water, feel free to take it. I want you to feel the forearms reaching towards the front of the room as your chest reaches to your thighs if you're taking that down dog. On an inhale, we're going to take our left leg up. Look between your hands. Let's pivot that leg through. Option to take that knee down. You're in runner's pose. Reach your fingertips forward and lift into crescent. Think that your hips are trying to turn up, tailbone down. Don't hyperextend through that low back. Put energy in your heel. Find your balance. This time, we sweep our arms behind us. Interlock if available. If not available, straight energy, palm towards palm. Inhale, reach up. Drop the back heel, warrior one. Heel to heel alignment. If you're struggling with balance, just make a little wider stance. Open up, warrior two. Arch to heel alignment. Feel the energy of that back hip reaching to the back room. External rotation with that front leg. Knee over your second and third toe. Soften your shoulders, lift out of your waist. Let's reverse our warrior. Let's come back to warrior two. We're going to straighten that front leg. Hinge the upper body as far forward as you can. Reach for me. And then come into triangle pose. Letting the right fingers reach for the sky. Think of that left hip is pulling forward as that right hip is trying to stack on top. Shoulder blades against that imaginary wall. Breathe into your stretch. Let's release, bend that front knee, return to our warrior two. We're going to windmill the back arm all the way back into runner's pose. Slide your left leg back, option to come to your knees. Option chaturanga or come all the way to the floor. Cobra or up dog. Release, and this time we're all going to press back into child pose for a little extended rest. We're going to turn our palms up in child pose and start to feel a nice stretch even down into the lats. Forehead can be on your block or mat. Let's turn our palms back down. And we're going to walk our hands to the left, crossing right over left. And imagine taking your right hip and pulling it down towards your right ankle. Breathe into the right side of your body. We'll come back to center. And same thing, other side. See if you can cross left over right. Think of taking your left hip and drawing it down towards your left ankle. Create length for the left side of your body. And let's come back to center. I'm going to shift the weight forward, open so the feet are hip distance, curl your toes, and press back into your down dog, or take it to your all fours. We're going to look forward and walk our feet towards our hands, forward fold. Come up halfway. Press down to come all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to take a little balance challenge here. So if you want to come against the wall or if you want to skip the balance challenge, it's totally up to you. We're just going to take our tree. You're going to take your right foot and you're going to place it anywhere on the inside of your left leg, just not the kneecap. If you want your chair, as you're holding tree, hips are going to be forward. The bent knee is reaching to the back of the room. Glutes are engaged. Feeling free to keep your hands at heart center. You can feel free to keep your hand on a chair, or you can even extend your arms, allow your tree to grow, whichever feels best for you. Keep your breath steady and calm. We're going to return our hands to our heart, take our knee forward and release. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. And when you're ready, same thing, other side. Put energy in the foot against the leg. Try not to drop into your hip. Pull that hip up and in. Reach the bent knee to the back of the room. Engage your belly, lift your abdominal wall up and in. Think of that lifting and drawing in motion. Try to keep your eyes focused on something. If you're looking all around the room, it's going to be harder to balance. Option, extend your arms. Listen to your breath. Quiet your mind. We turn our hands to our heart, take our knee forward, and we're going to release to mountain. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's inhale up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. We're going to walk our feet back to come into all fours. You can walk your hands and hips to the same side of the mat and swing your legs around, or just simply cross at the ankles and draw your legs through. You see, I think you can see my feet. So our legs are extended out in front. Reach your pinky toes towards you. So imagine your feet are stepping on the ground, so they're nice and flat. You don't want to turn in. There's energy in the legs. Let's inhale up to staff pose. You're up on your sit bones here. If this is difficult, take your towel and sit on your towel to help tip the pelvis in the right position. You don't want to be rounded in that low back here. Again, you can always take cactus. Staff pose is a hard pose to hold. A lot of core strength here. One more breath, and we're just going to spine stretch forward, reach forward, and release into the stretch. If you need to soften your knees, that's fine. Doesn't matter where your hands come, just make sure your hands are connected to something. One more breath, and then we're just going to stack our vertebrae as we come up. From the small back, just roll up nice and tall. We're going to bend our knees and hold on to our hamstrings. Lift the chest, roll your shoulders back. And now we're going to lean back to start to feel core engagement. Now you can feel free to stay here or maybe take your feet up. Maybe extend your arms. Holding bow pose. Make sure you're breathing. Keep that chest lifted, don't sink, stay lifted. Return your hands, return your feet, come all the way up nice and tall. One more time, deep breath in, exhale, lean back to feel core engagement. Option to lift your legs. Options to release your hands. Return hands to thighs, return feet, and let's come all the way up. Deep breath in. And exhale, we're going to roll down onto our mat. You can walk yourself down or come down with core control. Just don't plop your spine onto the mat. And stay with a little more core. We're going to take one knee up directly above the hip. The shin is parallel to the sky. Imprint your spine. So again, think of your low back is connected to your mat. You need to move your computer around to see me, feel free. I know we're coming to the floor, so this is all a learning process for all of us today. And I'm going to take the other one up. So as both legs are up over the hips, shins are parallel to the sky, your back is connected to the earth. Without letting the back leave the ground, you're just going to reach your right foot out and towards the floor and return nice and slow. So there's a pause. I'm going to alternate legs. As the leg comes down, you exhale, draw that navel in. If you're feeling your low back lift from the mats, don't go so low. The further out you reach, the lower you get that leg, the more you work in your core. So find where you don't lose that abdominal integrity, but you feel a challenge. You're going to do one more, each leg. And then you just take hold of your hamstrings when you're done with that and pull your knees into your chest. We're going to return the knees directly above the hips, keep that spine imprinted, keep that low back to the mat, and then we're just going to shoot the leg out. A little pause, and return. Taking the opposite leg out, just reach it out, and you want to lower it enough so you feel the abdominals, and return. The lower you go, the more difficult it will be. If you want a bigger challenge today, you can do both legs together. Just do not let that low back lift off the ground. Do not let the ribs pull away from the hips. They stay closed. Those lower ribs stay closed. That belly stays pulled up and down towards your spine. You're going to do one more each leg. And then you're going to take your knees into your chest for a little stretch. You're going to release your left leg onto the floor, hold onto your right hamstrings, flex the foot, and extend the leg into the air. Holding on to your right leg with your right hand, release your left arm off to the side and open your right leg to the right, making sure your hips stay nice and square. Don't let that left leg hip rise. You feel a nice inner thigh stretch. You can use your tricep of your right arm for support. Or if you're a little more flexible, maybe going down for toe lock. The knee can be soft. Let's take that leg back up and just switch hands and then gently take your right leg over to your left. Imagine your belly's trying to stay facing the ceiling as your right hip is trying to face the side wall. Maybe look over your right shoulder. Gentle twist. Let's come back to center. And we'll slide our right leg out as we draw our left leg in, holding on to the hamstring, nice pulling knee up towards chest, a little compression of the hip, and then flex the foot and extend the leg into the air. You're going to release your right arm off to the side and open your left leg to the left to feel a nice inner thigh stretch. Again, you can use the arm for support, or if you're a little more flexible, you can take the hand down to the foot, to the ankle, whatever's working for you. You just want to make sure you keep your right hip on the mat. Let's come back to center and just switch hands, and with your right arm, help the left leg come across the body for a gentle twist. Maybe look to the left. Think that the belly's trying to face the ceiling while the hip is trying to face the wall. Feel the rotation at the waist. And let's come back to center. Placing both feet on the floor, we're going to walk our heels in. So our heels are underneath our hips, so it's a narrow stance. You're going to tip your tailbone up. So again, think of that posterior tilt, put the low back on the floor, and let's just come up into a bridge. Try not to tuck your chin. Let the hips and quads reach for the sky. Engage your glutes. Feel energy in your big toe as well as your heels. And one vertebra at a time. Let's give our back a nice massage. Placing our back onto the mat. We'll feel that posterior tilt as we come down into our lumbar spine. And then as we place our tailbone back onto the mat, we feel neutral. We feel that lumbar curvature return. Let's walk our feet together and allow our knees to open in opposite direction. Notice your breath. One more breath here. We'll take our knees up. And if comfortable, we're going to slide our legs out. We're going to turn our palms up to the sky. Now, if this isn't comfortable for you, please feel free to roll to your side. And just from the top of the head, I just want you to notice where you're carrying tension and see if you can release it. Allow your eyelids to get heavy. Notice if you're clenching at the jaw, relax your jaw. Feel the broadness across the collarbone. Feel the shoulder blades melt into the mat. Releasing your hips. You should feel a little external rotation in the legs as the hips release. I want you to take a nice deep breath in and just pause at the top of that breath. And then an audible exhale, just let it all go. We're just going to stay here in Shavasana for a few breaths. Enjoy the peace, enjoy the quiet. You can begin to waken up your body, wiggling your fingers, your toes, maybe rolling to your side. Finding a comfortable seated position when you are ready. Well, thank you for trying something new. It's new to all of us, and let's hope we progress. And I wish you all a wonderful day. Hope to see you next week. Namaste. Thank you. I know it's odd, but we'll get used to it. Stay healthy.